So this just rolled in for a morning drive package. This absolutely beautiful BMW E32. This car has developed an issue with the bonnet latch. Tomorrow I'm going to bring this over to my regular mechanic site, and the adventure shall continue then. Alright, so here we found the culprit, the bonnet latch. Alright, and the plastic casing of the bonnet latch broke. So as a result, the cable is pulling fine, but it's not able to pull the release, okay, the lock to release, and as a result you can't open the bonnet. Okay, so it involved a bit of extensive work. We had to drill a small hole here on the grille, right, to access the latch, so that we can, you know, insert a little screwdriver to push this latch and release the bonnet. Now this was all, of course, done with the customer's permission. I called him beforehand, before we did this, because he told me that he actually bought a new grille for the car anyways, but he also asked that I take care of this existing grille. So we just drill a little small hole, and pop, once this hole was there, just one push in there, pop, the bonnet straight away open up. So I'm driving the E32 again, bringing it back to my shop. Okay, so what has happened is that after we fixed the bonnet latch, the owner advised me that he has an issue with the engine's cooling system, not overheating, but the engine runs too cold because one of the previous owners deleted the thermostat. Now, the function of the thermostat is to regulate the flow of coolant into the engine. So you see, when the idea is this, our engines are all designed to operate at a certain optimum temperature, because that is when, you know, all the seals, the lubricants are at their best viscosity, best condition that allow optimum operation of your engine. Alright, so you see, the thing is that the thermostat is meant to stop the flow of coolant into the engine if the temperature is too cold, and open up if the temperature starts to rise. So in a way, it ensures that the engine is operating within a certain optimum range of temperatures. So what happens is that without the thermostat, your engine does not have the opportunity to warm up to optimum operating temperature, especially if you're on the move. You see, because when your car is idling, it's very easy for an engine to build up heat. But when you are moving, okay, airflow into the engine bay through the front grills also help provide additional cooling to your engine. So the thing is that, like for example, in this car, all right, in a BMW, the temperature gauge is meant to point dead straight center at optimum temperatures. With this car, it's always at the 1/3 mark, and if the road is clear, the temperature drops to practically cold, right? So that is better than overheating, but it's not ideal, all right, to keep the engine in optimum operating conditions. So the owner wanted to address that. So I spoke to my mechanic, and he told me that, well, there is nobody stocking up M30 engine thermostats, all right, because this engine is quite rare in our market, only like limited numbers of cars in Malaysia. So, but he did find out that the thermostat for the M52 engine is compatible. He said we can try. There's no guarantee it will work, but we can try. So we put in an M52 thermostat, single one-off thermostat engine, engine thermostat, and well, true enough, the engine started overheating again. So as a result, that solution is not possible. And the recommendation for now is that we have to maintain the thermostat delete. But working together with the owner of this car, we eventually managed to, well, his own mechanic, actually managed to source one M30 thermostat, and later on the owner will arrange for the installation. And we found out that the M52 engines and the M30 engines, because they're designed to run at different operating temperatures, it doesn't, as a result, the thermostat didn't open when it was supposed to open. Yeah, so that is the story. And but so for now, I have got what I've done with this car. We have well, sent it to the mechanic, got the bonnet latch fixed. Now I'm bringing this back to my shop. Later on, I'm going to hand it back to the owner. We're going to have to clean up the car again, of course, and we learn something new together. So yeah, here's the thing with so here's I want to share with you guys is that besides washing cars, at EvoClub Car Wash, we also provide car maintenance consultation services if you need it. So like, I know a lot of you guys, you have cars at home, right, that you have the means to maintain it, you have the means to upkeep it, but not necessarily the time. So so an additional service besides washing cars is that if you need help to coordinate your vehicle maintenance or major repairs, all right, but you don't have the time to run around with the workshop, we are more than happy to do it for you. I mean, of course, there's a certain fee involved, you know, to cover for our traveling costs and all that. But you know, it's an additional service that we provide to you guys. You know, a car maintenance banker life consultation service on top of washing your cars. So if any of you guys, you need help with your car maintenance, don't hesitate to contact us. All right, we are more than happy to help you out and work out a solution for you based on your needs. All right, so okay, now this E32 has a bit of a tricky clutch to balance on a slope. Yeah, just getting used to it. Oh. But I have to say, man, this car, for something that's 30 over years, oh, it's smooth like butter. The engine, I mean, even though it's not running at optimum operating temperature, but you know, it revs so smoothly. But what really amazes me with this car is the plushness of its ride. You see, the thing is that from the factory, the E32 came with 15 inches, at most 16-inch wheels. This car is sitting on 18s, and yet the ride is still beautifully poised. I've driven it over some less than ideal surfaces, and there's still that plushness in the ride that, you know, in most modern cars, when you upsize the wheels more than an inch or two, you will feel it in the ride. But this one, you know, it's still so damn comfortable. And look at, and check this out. Yeah, I'm taking a bend. The body control of this car remains impeccable. Now, granted, I know for a fact that this owner has spent a princely sum on some of the mechanical restorations of this car, but still, this is one fine example of a 7 Series. So yeah, guys, later on, once I reach the shop, all right, I'll park this car and I'll show you guys the exterior with proper walk around. Okay guys, so as promised, a quick walk around of the E32 that I was driving. This is the 730i short wheelbase, and you know, this generation of BMWs, the bonnets open forward. It's the same with the E34 5 Series. It's also the same with the E30 3 Series that Thomas currently drives. So I don't have an answer why BMW chose this configuration for that generation of cars, but this is what they did. All right, and this was what broke, really. Okay, this piece of plastic here, that this is the bonnet release cable. So when you pull the bonnet release latch in the cabin, this cable is the one that pulls, and it pulls this, okay, to release the bonnet latch. Okay, so that failed and caused the bonnet to be unable to open. Now, what we have here, this is the M30 3-liter inline 6 engine. All right, a very robust engine, and if I remember correctly, this is a single cam, 2 valve per cylinder engine. So mechanically it's very simple, but this engine is known to be pretty robust, a much higher, much higher grade engine than the M20 that is found typically in the 20i and the 25i cars. Now you can see here, this car is pretty advanced for its era. Check this out. So here we have, this is the ABS module, okay, power steering reservoir. This is the OBD port actually. So here you can see, I'm not going to fiddle with this, but this is where you connect the OBD diagnostics. So here you can see this is the fuse box. All right, now let me go and close this. Okay, just gently close this. All right, and press it down, close. All right, so this, now the E32 had 2 different front grille design. This is the narrow nose configuration. There's also the wider nose configuration that denotes that the car has a V8 engine. This is representative of the straight 6 model. And you can see here, all right, this is a very high spec lamp, because you see in that era, right, the E32, the E34, if you see it with this little smiley here at the bottom of the headlight, this is the highest spec of headlight available. Now you come to the side, you see this car is fitted with AC Schneider wheels. These are not the factory size tires. These are 18-inch wheels, and you know the best part is this car from the factory came with 16-inch wheels. Yet, despite going 3 sizes up, the ride still, you know, is beautiful. It's amazingly plush riding, this car. Okay, so if you're a kid from the 80s like I am, you remember back then, right? Some cars had two keyholes here. One is to lock and unlock the car. The second one usually is an aftermarket fitment, is to trigger the alarm. All right, so that back then they didn't have remote controls. So what they do is that they will lock and unlock the door, and then there's another keyhole which they usually go to the accessory shop and fit for the alarm. Okay, so well, please excuse the plastic and the paper. That is SOP for us after a customer's car is cleaned up. All right, so that we don't, when we handle the cars, we don't accidentally dirty the customer's car again. Now, this example here is well fitted with, firstly, this is a very well sought after steering, M Sport gear knob. Yes guys, 5-speed manual. But the cabin design, all right, is, to my eyes, well, looks practically the same as that of the E34. So yeah, so between this and an E34 cabin, cosmetically there is next to no difference. I really can't tell what's the difference, right? So you can see here, the cluster, the instrument cluster is well, it has the miles per hour units. So this is a UK imported spec. All right, so the owner has obviously made use of that spot to put his tissues. And over here you have some, well, cubby holes. Power window switches are in the middle, and yep, analog clock. Nice. I always loved cabins with analog clocks. Now let me just start up the engine, the electronics for a while, to show you guys something. Yeah, okay, so this is the car key. Let me just put it inside here, right, and turn. Check this out guys, high you know, high OBC. This is a car from the 1980s and it has onboard proper, you know, full onboard diagnostics. Okay, now you come here, you can see has dual zone climate control. It's of course mechanical, but nevertheless you can set different temperatures for driver and passenger. Damn brilliant. Now what I do like here about the trim of this car, see these guys, open pore wood trim, really classy. I've said before, right, only Volvo seems to be the only brand that does open pore wood trim, but well, this particular example, the open pore wood trim does fit the E32's cabin pretty well. And check this out, it has a sunroof. Owner assures me it's operational, but I didn't try it because it's my policy to use as little things, to fiddle with as few things as possible in the customer's car unless specifically requested. So the rear door card, you can see there's a power window switch here. All right, so there's a hit. Wow, this is deep, man. This is deep. Wow. Okay, so this is ashtray lah. Okay, well, the rear leg room, check it out guys, fantastic rear leg room. Okay, I have not sat in the rear seats, and I don't think I will because my clothes are dirty. This car has just been cleaned up. I'm not going to risk that. Okay, the seat belts, look at this guys, seat belt buckle here at the side. All right, what you do here is that and this is a design that's shared with the E34 as well. So if you seated here, you buckle 3-point from this side. Pretty cool, right? Okay, and back then, of course, you see there's another seat belt here. Those days, middle passengers, they make do with 2-point belts. Okay, so this armrest is a bit tight, and I've gotten it down. So, wow, nice, big. Well, those days there's no such thing as cup holders and whatnot. So what they have here is a good old-fashioned, no-nonsense, large storage space. Brilliant. Why isn't this kind of armrest available in the E39? Right. So you've got rear aircon vents here. Okay. Back then, no dual zone climate control yet. All right. So let me just bring you here. Now the boot release is button operated, so press here to release to open the boot. Now I'm not going to show you the contents of the boot, all right, but you can see the opening of the boot. It's, well, back those days they didn't, you know, cut the boot opening all the way down yet. Back in the 80s, the boot only, you know, the boot lid only opens like up to here. Okay, it's not like present day cars where the opening aperture extends all the way down to the rear bumper, right? But all I can say, guys, is that this car, the E32 7 Series, admittedly, well, it's not one of BMW's most memorable cars, right? Not one of BMW's most loved cars, but I have to say this is a very fine example of a car. Beautiful, it drives beautifully. The condition of this car is, well, it's brilliantly kept by the current owner as well as the previous owners. So yeah, and one thing I have to say about this car is that it feels rock solid. Everything, you know, still there are no creaks, no rattles. The doors close with a convincing, you know, thunk, and when you go over rough road surfaces, the car just has that feel of solidness about it. So great pleasure working on this car, and great pleasure, you know, shuttling this car around, you know, getting its issues sorted, and I can't wait to hand this car back to its owner tomorrow.
When I switched to Pro Mileage, in my case, I got 46-47% of savings for that car.
Pro Mileage was the only one that gave me 5,000 extra value to cover, yet still cheaper, a lot less.